I've come to recognize that all the things that we experience in this life happen so that we can learn and grow from them.
This podcast is about guests sharing their stories about little or big adversities, discomfort, traumas, or limitations that made them who they are for the better. Welcome to the Post-Traumatic Growth Podcast. My name is Paul. For the first podcast, my friend I've known since '94 is joining me, Pearl. She's an animal lover, a very kind person, and she's a very likable person. Is there anything else you would like to add? How are you, Pearl?
Hi, good evening. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not one to toot my own horn a whole hell of a lot, but just try to try to help out where I can and wherever I feel like I'm needed.
Very nice. So let's see. When I first conned you, I convinced you. When I first convinced you to join me on this podcast, I pitched it as like a way to. It's gonna be like to share stories of like of adversity or whatever, but things that help us kind of like get through it. Example like the pandemic. Well, that's pretty fucking heavy. Example, or just like something as simple as like stressing over an exam. The stressing of the exam makes you want to study harder, and so you get better at it. But
Mhm.
I guess just stories. I just want to be stories about this any sort of adversity. So that's how I pitched it to you, Pearl, and you're kind enough to. I mean, we talked offline, and well, I don't want to steal your thunder, but we talked about like sort of you had in mind. And I sent you a bunch of questions, but like I said, there's no. This is our first and first podcast, so it doesn't matter if you wanna whether you wanna go through all the questions. There's a lot of damn questions I sent you.
Well, it wasn't that many, really. They were just really, really deep, and had me reflecting and stuff, which was actually really good, to help out with part of the healing process as well. So it was good.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I'm kind of reluctant to share all of my because it's kind of personal stuff that happened to me. So and I don't expect this is our first podcast. She got hit real fast. I don't expect you to share all of it. I mean, this can be public, so I don't expect you to share all things, but just so that as you said, something just to help heal. It doesn't have to be like. I don't want you to share what you're not comfortable sharing. Similar to what I'm saying, similar to me. Like right now, I'm not ready to show all my cards per se. But I don't know what do you think?
All right. Well, I have pretty much gone through it and what do you call it? Healed myself from the mental and emotional issues that followed. And so I can, pretty much say whatever. I don't have
Oh, wow.
any restrict. Well, it's been what, like since like the year 2000, so I better be over it by now, right? Either that or I have issues with holding grudges and stuff, which I don't. So yeah, ask away.
Okay, so let's let me The first question. Can you recall a surprising or humorous moment that happened unexpectedly while going through an adversity?
Well, there was um there was a whole week of adversity. It was this weird thing. It's like a black cloud was hanging around me. It was like a whole week. It was one thing after another, after another, after another. But looking back, it was just the funniest thing. Like Mercury was in retrograde and somebody was playing a joke on me or something, right? So it all started when I had koi fish in my fish tank and they were starting to get a little bit big for the fish tank. And so
When was
I
this?
was again, oh, this was maybe 3 4 years ago. So it didn't it wasn't related to my traumatic event to say,
Mhm.
but I think it was unexpected, funny, and um it was just the weirdest thing. And you'll see once I explain it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, I was gonna sell these fish, or give them away, I don't remember, to somebody. So I had to meet them. And what I did was I had 5 gallon pail in the back seat of my truck, only about half full because I didn't want them jumping out and I didn't want it sloshing around and spill out onto the seat or anything. And I was running late, so I had to go. And so what happened was on my way there, I had a turkey run out in front of my truck. So I had to either hit the brake or hit the turkey. So I was like, all right, well, hitting a turkey is
When
like
was this?
hitting a
When
bowling
was
ball.
this? Was this during Thanksgiving or something like that, or
No,
this
it was in the
turkey just
middle of
running around?
summer. Yeah, yeah, we have
Oh,
wild turkeys up in Wisconsin.
oh no shit.
Yeah, yeah, they're funny. I mean, they're stupid, but what do you want? And so I had to either hit the brake or hit the turkey. So I hit the brake, and I didn't think it was that hard, but it was hard enough to have the whole bucket of water sploosh out under my seat, and I had to pull over and catch the fish. They were like all over in the floor of my car or my truck. And so I caught them all, but there was only like this much water in the bucket, and so they weren't going to survive. And I had water under my seat and on the floor. I'm like, all right, that's okay. I had to get these fish to where they were going. Luckily, one of my friend's house was on the way, so I stopped and I was like, "Hey, can I get some water?" so she thought I meant like to get a bottle of water to drink. I'm like, no, 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 I need your hose. I need to fill up a bucket of water. So
Whoa.
I filled up the water, buckled in the fish this time. I had them on the floor of the front seat with the seat pushed up against it so that way they'd stay put this time. And drove them there and gave them to the guy. I was like, yeah, sorry, but I had a little mishap. They should be okay. Whatever. Hopefully they all make it for you and they're free. So, because of that, they might not make it. I don't know. So, okay, that was that. And then, so I got home and I was like, all right, how am I going to dry out the bottom of the truck? Because the whole floor was wet. So I was like, well, okay, I'll sit it out in the sun. I'll take all the floor mats out, have the windows just cracked open just a little bit and let the sun bake it
So
out,
what? So what
right?
happened to the fish? Did they survive?
I don't know. I gave them to that guy.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can't,
Was
they
it was
were they were still alive by the time I gave them to
okay.
the guy. So hopefully they're
Okay.
still, you know. So yeah, when I got back, I
Was he
tried.
expecting was he expecting them to be alive? Well, obviously.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. They were gonna go in
Okay.
this pond
Yeah, who orders
outside.
dead
So
well, I mean, unless you're Asian. Who orders dead fish?
yeah, they weren't that big though. They weren't eating size. So they were gonna go in the pond and grow and be ornamental. So whatever. And
Okay, okay.
so
So they survived. Okay.
yep, the fish survived and
The turkey
no
survived.
issues.
The turkey survived.
So the turkey survived because I hit the
No harm,
brake
no
instead of
foul.
the turkey. Right. So so then I was gonna, you know, have my truck steaming hot in the sun and dry up the floor. So I parked it out in the sun, and next thing you know, it's clouding up and raining. I'm not joking. It really did. So I was like, all right, well, crap. Now I put the truck in the garage with the window down, with the door open, with a fan blowing at the floor and under the seat so that it would dry off. But it was, it was so humid from it raining that it took like 3 days to dry.
And this was summer too. It's funny.
Yeah, it was summer. And so I was like, all right, well, all right, good. It finally dried to the touch, and underneath it seemed to be dry. Okay. So then I had to go somewhere, and I could hardly make it out of the driveway. It was stuck in 4-wheel drive low gear. Like I could not get it out of low gear. And hitting the buttons, put it in park, neutral, whatever, normal ways how to shift it out. Nope, won't do it. So it turns out, after doing some research, that there's some kind of the controller chip or whatever for the 4-wheel drive is under the driver's seat. And so when it so so when it got all wet and stayed wet for a couple days, it messed that chip up. So we needed to go get a new part, replace it. Like it was at least it was a plug and play thing where you just take that one out, plug it in, and we were good to go. So that was okay. So that takes us to like Wednesday. And at this time I was redoing my pigeon loft. And I was making it
What pigeon loft?
pigeon loft. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I had a little well,
What is that? Yeah, go ahead.
it was well, basically it's an outdoor aviary, but it was only 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, and there was two of them the same size, and I was gonna like smush them together and make a big one. So so I was doing that while I was waiting for my truck to dry. And at one point in the thing, one of the walls was like gonna fall over because I was doing this all myself. So I was like, at one point, one of the walls is gonna fall over, and of course, I had all the birds still in there because I couldn't, like, I didn't have anywhere enough cages for 100 birds,
Hmm.
So I was like grabbing on and like, "Oh, what am I doing with this giant open space? Are they gonna fly out?" And ended up like contorting and um making it, but nobody got loose, which was good. And I finished the rest of that project, no problem. So and then the next thing that was weird was that coming weekend we had some kind of a windstorm.
So all this stuff.
And
Just back up. All of this weird stuff that's happening in 1 week.
in 1 week, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was so weird. There's like one
So
thing after
the
another
fish in the
after another.
water, and then
Yep.
so
The
what was
water
this,
with the
aviary?
thing.
The
Yeah, and then the aviary. Yep. And then
what
at
was
the
the issue?
very
What's the issue again? What was the issue again with the aviary?
one of the walls almost caved in, and all the birds would have escaped.
Okay.
100 birds. I would have to run around trying
What
to
did you do
catch
for
them.
that one? What did you do for that one?
I just contorted and like grabbed stuff to hold it up and kind of just slowly moved stuff and closed them off, so they were stuck in one spot. So, and then I was able to fix it the rest of the way, and everything turned out good, thankfully. And then at the very end of the week, the weekend, we had a windstorm, and the windstorm blew the brick chimney off the house. It's like
Blew the brick chimney off the
yeah,
house. What's
we
the
have
strong?
we have a brick chimney, and it was like someone took the chimney and moved it over like 15 feet. It was still on the roof and it was still right side up, but it was not in the spot where it's supposed to be. Like
It wasn't a
someone
tornado. It wasn't a tornado that hit you guys.
no, it was just a windstorm because I was outside when it happened and I didn't even know. All of a sudden I heard it stunk and I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I don't know. But that was the last thing, thankfully. Kind of calmed down after that. But yeah, it was, I mean, thinking back, it was hilarious. Not while it was happening though. I was just like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? And
That's definitely memorable. Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely remember that. With all those things happening in 1 week, crazy.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was so weird.
Okay. I want to ask the next question.
Sure.
By the way, that's very interesting. Do you discover any unexpected hobbies or interests as a result of changes in your life after overcoming any difficulties? Unexpected
Well,
hobbies or interests?
after my main traumatic event, I ended up well, I was living up north at the time, northern Wisconsin. So there's a
When
lot
was
of woods
this?
out there. It was like in the year 2000. So I was up north and ended up no, what year was it? It was 2002, I think, because it happened right after September 11th.
Mm.
So we were up north because
Who's we?
September, me and one of my exes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so being up north with a lot of woods and stuff, I started hiking and
Hmm.
especially in the winter when there's not much to do. In the summer, I was going fishing and well, working, so that takes up a lot of time. But in winter, I started hiking and collecting shed deer antlers in February, March.
So, but it wasn't really unexpected. It was just something to do.
Yeah. I mean, it was something to do. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm not judging. I'm just
Well,
I'm just saying.
hiking was something to do, but collecting the shed deer antlers, that was kind of unexpected because I actually
Oh,
found a
really?
bunch. Yeah.
Sure. How do you have? So you have a collection now, or?
Yeah, I have like okay, so you know the boxes from the supermarket that the bananas come in, those big
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah.
I got a box like full of antlers from over the years that I've found.
They just shed them. They just shed
Yep,
them.
yep. Yeah, the
Because they
deer
all outgrow.
every
Well, obviously they outgrow them. Yeah.
yeah, and then each year they grow another little spike on there, another
Oh,
point.
that's interesting.
It starts out with a little one and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then, bigger and bigger until someone shoots the deer or they get older and that's what they got.
So it's mostly in your area, mostly whitetail, right? Is that the
Yep.
that's the big that's like
The
one of
main
one of the
deers out
main
there.
one of the
Yep.
main species that like
Yeah, just
people would see.
out of deer, it's just a white-tailed deers.
Oh, really? They have a monopoly
Yeah, there
on.
isn't really anything else.
Oh, it's
Not
similar
up
to
here anyway.
similar to how black bears are pretty much the only bear in North America, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, I thought there was grizzly bears. Where are those? Those are North America
In
too.
in like Alaska, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Canada
in like up
maybe.
north.
Yeah, up north.
Because I remember it's kind of a tangent, but I'm talking to an animal person, so I'm probably out of my lane. But I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Like, so black bears, from my understanding, black bears are like the
The most
prevalent,
common.
the most common, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, and then
Yep.
all like the, because I was watching well, just a snippet of what was it that documentary about this dude living with like brown bears,
I don't even know.
grizzly man. Anyway,
Oh,
and
okay.
he lived all the way in Alaska, and that's where all of the pretty much all of the bears in Alaska are brown grizzlies.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Yeah. Thankfully, knock on wood, I've never seen a bear out in the woods in real life, or a cougar, or anything that can eat me. I mean, they've since introduced elk up north, and
I have yet to meet a cougar in my life also. I am not
yeah.
opposed to it. Okay. Okay.
It's funny. No, but like even down here where I am now, there's been mountain lion sightings, and people's pets have been mutilated and stuff. So there's one in the area. They just haven't caught it yet. I mean, they've seen it on trail cameras and stuff.
Oh, Malini. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those aren't supposed to be over here.
I'm gonna ask you the next question.
Sure.
How is your taste in music, Pearl? Music, movies, or entertainment evolved since going through any any turmoil or anything like that? Movies or music changed? Or entertainment?
Well, I don't think it changed any more than usual. I mean, I like certain genres of movies and TV. The music taste kind of changes depending on the mood. I can go from instrumental folk to classic rock to country to, whatever, depending on what I feel like. I mean, some days I'm jamming out to 80s party music.
So
It all
so
depends.
two things. Two things. Um, I still listen to the music that you introduced me like from freaking what was that 30 years ago?
Yeah, I know. What was
I
it?
still listen to that. So I listen to um Big Audio Dynamite. I
Oh,
still listen
yeah,
to that.
yeah. Big Audio
And
Dynamite. And
the other thing about music is I had an ex. She I was played Pearl Jam, and she hated
okay.
Pearl Jam because
No.
because because some because because someone she once she knew she associated that music with her, the person that she didn't like
Oh,
with Pearl
okay.
Jam. So that's why she hated Pearl Jam. So
All right.
not I guess nothing to do with adversity, but it just kind of reminded that. So we move on to the next question because it's not
Sure.
really okay. So habits. Let's see. If you can, well, okay, yeah, okay, let's do it. If you can give, well, no, I don't want to do the advice. That's too early. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know
skipping
how much
around.
time has passed. How much time has
I
passed?
don't know. It's 7:45 now, so a half hour.
Okay. Um. Okay, I'll just say it. Did you find any unconventional sources of joy or comfort that played in a role in the overall sense of well-being after a challenging experience?
Well, I started raising the pigeons, and so their antics and their little faces kind of, they can always make me smile. I can just go out there and just watch them, and they're cute and they're funny, and they push each other out of the way to eat a little bit of seed out of my hand, and they're, yeah, unexpected, because I didn't think at all that I was going to end up getting pigeons, but
Okay, so that's interesting because you weren't really into pigeons, and like what can you point to that was kind of like a challenging situation that led to the pigeons,
um, well,
or some kind of adversity.
so how did I get into that after the adversity?
Yeah,
Is that
because
what you're
I'm just
asking?
trying to relate to you saying that your joy in raising pigeons, and like, so what um bump in the road kind of led you to that is what I'm asking.
Mm. Well, it ended up, uh,
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. If it wasn't, it
yeah,
was.
it was just one of those things that happened. I happened to be running my dog out in the forest preserve out in the open field area, and a random pigeon landed in front of me, and my dog caught it. But she kept, I kept it alive and brought it back to me. So after that, I started like I found that there's a whole society of people that raise and show
Hmm,
pigeons that I didn't even know about.
hmm,
Um, and I got involved with that and been raising pigeons ever since.
interesting.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it,
but
so, mhm.
I mean, nothing traumatic had led me to the pigeons. It was just something that just happened after the fact.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna end it on this last question because I want to keep this podcast short and sweet for the first one, and we can
All right.
continue. We can continue on it if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, short and sweet, just like just like. Well, I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm
No, geez.
short and sweet like you. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, my father's telling me to tone it down. How do you? Okay, last question. How did you discover or realize that you were experiencing growth as a result of your traumatic experience?
How did I? I
Yeah.
didn't at first. It was through starting over with what I had left. Through sort of picking up the pieces, as it were, and moving on. I realized that material things can always be replaced, and now that I've years have gone by, I've come to recognize that all the things that we experience in this life happen so that we can learn and grow from them. I mean, I just wish the catalysts for this growth didn't have to be things that make us felt bad
Mhm.
or feel bad, or you know what I mean. It's the trying times that lend the make it or break it type growth that we need um in our spiritual journeys.
I appreciate your time, and it's good to see you again, and
Yeah, likewise.
we'll talk offline.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Pearlie. Have a nice rest of
Yep.
your evening.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.